Okay, so today we are going to do our Christmas Pilates. I've not got much voice, but hopefully I've got enough that you can hear me. We're going to do a class today where we are going from thinking about an exercise in terms of our biomechanics into taking it into a much more dynamic movement. Not quite a HIIT session, but if you think that kind of thing, but a thoughtful move always leading into the dynamic one. But before we do anything else, we're going to start as we always do, just with our feet underneath our hips. Remember, that's about a fist distance between your feet. Any wider than that, you don't run with your legs out there. You run with your legs underneath you. So from here, just through the foot and ankle, we're just going to start by waking our system up. Remember that you're wanting to rock and stay through the foot and ankle and not through the hips going forwards and backwards. Okay, and then try and remember that all of the exercises we do are going to be just subtly onto the balls of our feet. From here, we're going to go into some heel raises. So warming those calves up. We're up and down, trying to go through the big toes as you go. And let's add in some arms. Get our shoulders moving. Okay, so think with the elbows. Elbows driving forwards and backwards, not across the body. The actual elbow angle itself should stay about the same. Okay, so just getting those calves warmed up. And if you're doing this right, you should also be feeling the muscles in your hamstrings, your glutes. So it's getting the whole of your lower trunk or below your trunk, posterior chain warmed up. All right, now from here, let's go into some what's called walking. So you're going to take one foot up and you're going to swap. And you're going to swap. So here, can you concentrate on your pelvis staying level? So we're not doing the catwalk. Okay, the pelvis is staying nice and level as your legs move underneath you. So this is the thoughtful element. Well, it's all going to stay thoughtful, but we're going to try and speed it up. So from here, can you double it? And go back to a slow one. Okay, and then double it. And we're going to go really fast. So we're going for a sprint. Still working on keeping that pelvis nice and level. Good. And back to a nice slow one. So good to do a little bit of brain reset. And then fast one again. Keeping the pelvis level. Well done. And then slow it down. Good. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, that was just our little warm-up, we're going to do some squats. You take your feet a little bit wider than your hips today. We're going to start off just thinking about our squat form. So toes gently pointing out. You want your knees to go out over your fourth and fifth toes. It is no good if those knees drop in. I know there's a couple of you that really need to focus on that. You can think about foot arch support. You can think about connecting through the glutes, rotating out to the glutes. Okay, but we're going to do little squats. Because in a moment we're going to go deeper. Okay, as deep as is comfortable for you. But just to begin with, and you can do whatever speed you want, just nice, steady away squats. Okay, keep thinking about that nice, strong foot arch support. Some of you might want to be thinking about pelvic floor activation, particularly as we go into a deeper squat. Okay, so think about pulling up your pelvic floor. And Do your last couple of little checks before we go deeper. Okay, so you're going to go down. Now, glutes bring you up. Glutes and shoulder blades. Knees out over toes, glutes and shoulder blades to bring you up. Keep going. When I talk about glutes bringing you up, sometimes I think about connecting your sit bones. Okay, you can go really deep if you want. Connect your sit bones to bring you up. Shoulder blades to bottom. Now obviously, you only go as deep as your knees are comfortable. Good. Last couple. Well done. Okay, then we're going to go into a lunge. We're going to start slow. So think about your lunge. Biomechanics again. Front knee over fourth and fifth toes or outside toes. But really importantly to me is what you're trying to achieve. You've got leg strength in there, but if you do it right, you've also got a lovely hip opening. So think about lengthening your tailbone underneath you. If you look, both feet should be facing forwards. Okay, direction of run, and then sink down and back up. Now again, you only need to go as low or as deep as you want. So down and up and down and up. Okay, keep it going down. So knee out over fourth and fifth toes. Now the other thing is, can you keep the pelvis facing forwards so that as you drop down, that pelvis isn't rotating around with you. So there's one leg. Okay, then let's go on to thinking about the other leg. So step forwards. Make sure that both feet are facing forwards. Lengthen the tailbone towards the floor and sink down and up and down and up. So as you get a nice stretch through the front, trunk faces forwards, pelvis open facing forwards, chest facing forwards. Keep those biomechanics. Okay, well done. So more dynamic. We're going to step back into a lunge, and then we're going to power it back up again. Step back, power it back up again. Again, as always, if ever you need to do something slightly differently, just do. Try and keep that nice open front of the pelvis, open front of the chest. So you still get the stretch, but you're also getting the balance and the strength. Okay, so we're going to step back, power up and back and up. Now you can do this as slow or as fast as you want. Back, step back and up. Feet facing forwards. Good. Okay, let's swap it over. So step back and drive up, back and up. Working on your balance as well as your strength. Keeping the chest and the pelvis open. Good, last one. And you're up. Okay, I thought we'd have a go, but you don't all have to do this. If it's not right for you, don't do it. Okay. If you've got dodgy knees, if your pelvic floor is particularly weak, just go back to doing what you were doing before. And we're going to do some split lunges or split jumps. Okay, I'm more out of breath than normal because I've got a very tight chest. So we're going to take yourself forwards, drop down, and you're going to jump your way up. jump your way up. Try and focus on those mechanics, the front knee and the pelvis. Oop. I seem to be travelling with mine. I've never found these easy. Jump and jump. Jump. Couple more. Well done. Okay, I know some people can do twice the pace. I can't, so we've all got stuff to work on. Okay, from there, let's do a nice calming roll down. Feet under your hips, fist distance between your feet, subtly through the balls of your feet. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, curl yourself forwards, keeping those knees softly straight. Breathe in to lengthen, and out as you curl your way up. Again, breathing in, breathing out to curl, breathing in, and breathing out to curl back up. We're going to do a couple more of these, using this to warm your spine up, and your back up, length through your muscles, because from this we're going to go into some roll-ups on the floor. Okay, so enjoy the last one. Nice big breath, lengthen, and then bend your knees, come down. Okay, so a roll-up. If you know you're good at roll-ups, you can do it with straight legs. If you need a little bit of help, have gently bent legs. Still a fist between your feet. Okay, we're going to start by sitting nice and tall. Think about using the muscles that sit underneath the rib cage. Shrug your shoulders, drop them down the back of the ribs. Breathe in, breathing out as you curl down, nice and slow. And then breathe in, nod your chin to your chest to your breastbone, and you curl your way back up. Okay, so bent knees or straight knees, breathing in, breathing out as you curl down. Now try and find the floor, one spinal segment at a time, and then you get mobility as well as strength. Breathing in, chin to chest to breastbone, breathing out, curl your way up. And again, breathing in, breathing out as you curl through. Down to the floor. Breathing in, chin to chest to breastbone. Breathing out as you curl your way back up. Again, breathing in, breathing out as you curl down. Breathing in, chin, chest to breastbone. Breathing out, curl up. One more time, breathing in, breathing out as you curl down. Breathing in and out, keep curling up. Good. Right, now from here we're going to go into some shoulder bridges. So we're going to take the spine the other way from the tailbone up. Shoulder bridge, safety, only ever go to your shoulder blades. Okay, and then once we've done a few of those, we're going to add in some leg extensions. So lowering down, this time knees bent. Your heels should not be touching your bottom, but they can be fairly close. Okay, arms down by your side, or if you want to make it slightly harder, arms up in the air. When you're ready, you're going to start to flatten the back into the floor and curl your tailbone up away from the floor. Now lengthen those lower lumbar muscles. Make sure that you're not gripping or grabbing with your lower back. So some people can only manage a low shoulder bridge before they start gripping, in which case that's where you work from. Some people can keep going up and up and up. As I say, shoulder blades is the highest you go anyway. Never onto the necks. And then curl down, breastbone, ribs, lower back, and tailbone. Okay, and again, flatten the back into the floor, curl up through the tailbone, lower back, ribs, up onto the shoulder blades. Breathe. So you can always just return to this if you don't want to do the next level. Then this is your go-to with shoulder bridge, you're still getting some lovely lumbar mobility, and you'll get some strength work through this. Curling up, breathing, and curling back down. Right, last one, unless you want to just keep going with these. So we're going to curl up, flatten the back, pelvis high. Now keep that pelvis high, and we're going to straighten one leg up. Now keep with that leg from the hip. We're going to go down, up, and bend. Okay, next one. We're going to straighten the leg. We're going to go down from the hip, up, down, up, and bend. Again, straighten, down, up, bend from the knee and down. Next one, down, up, down, bend, and return. Couple more times through. Straighten, and down, up, down, up, bend, and return. Last one. Straighten the leg. Lower from the hip. Up, lower, up, bend. Now from here, a nice quality shoulder bridge back down. Curl. Hug your knees to your chest. And release. Okay, from here we're going to go into a little bit of side work. We're going to focus on the quality of the side kick to begin with. So we're just going to start with level 1, which is lying on your side with your knees bent. Really important, the pelvis faces forward to the floor. Lengthen the top hip away from the rib cage. Now from that hip, can you hover your leg just to hip height? Okay, you can look down and check it. Now, you need to concentrate. As you come forwards, you want a waist to stay long, because some people otherwise they collapse. Okay, so a long waist. And as you go back, move from your glutes and your hip. So forwards, keeping a long waist. Back, moving from your glutes. Forwards, long waist. Back from the glutes. So you're doing some hip dissociation work, which means that you're moving your hip without your back and your lumbar spine joining in. And you're doing some glute strength work. Forwards, gliding back. Gliding forwards. Now really focus on the quality, because we're going to take this into a harder position, and then sometimes we lose our focus a little bit. So really use your brains to think about that control. Okay, one more. Good. Okay, now coming up. From here, you're going to take your arms out. We're going to lift the same side. So you're going to fall to the opposite side. Okay, strong through the shoulder, pelvis facing forwards, lift from the underneath muscles, which are called your obliques. Now, exactly the same idea. Forwards, keeping a long waist, back, controlling from the hip. Forwards and back. 1, 2. Forwards and back. 1, 2. Control. Forwards and back. 2. Forwards. Control back. 1, 2. Forwards. Control back. 1, 2. Forwards. 1, 2. Forwards and back. 2. Forwards. Control back. 1, 2. Forwards. Back. 2. Forwards. Back. And 2. Forwards. Back. 2. One more. Forwards. Control back. 2. Good. Coming up. Other side. Lying down first into your level 1. Okay, so long waist. Take your waist away from your rib cage. Hover from your hip, pelvis facing forwards. Keep your long waist as you glide forwards. And then control from your hip as you go back. So forwards controlling from your hip as you go back. And again, forwards, controlling from your hip as you go back. And forwards and back. Good. Last couple, keeping that control of your waist and your lumbar spine. And then we'll take it up into the high kneeling position again. If you don't like the high kneel, then you can just straighten your leg and do it out of this position. Okay. Otherwise, we are up into high kneeling. Take your arms out. Go to the other side. Long waist, pelvis forwards. Okay. And we're going to go forwards, back and pulse. Forwards, long waist. Control the back as you go back. Forwards from the glutes. Forwards, going back. And again. 1, 2. Forwards. Back. Coming back. 1, 2, last time. Well done. And coming up. Okay, from here, we're going to go into swimming. So, we don't often do this level, but we're just going to do it just again for that thought process before we take it into a plank. So lie on your fronts. And these are, depending on your person, they are little tiny leg lifts, or if you struggle, I do what I call an almost lift, which is where you just activate the muscles, but you don't actually lift. So the whole idea is that these little leg lifts come from your glutes and your hip joint, but never from your lower back. So rest your head down, looking at the floor, and then lengthen one leg and hover from the glute and lower. Lengthen the other, hover, and lower. And again, lengthen. So you're hovering only if this can come completely from your glutes and your lower legs. If your lumbar spine muscles, your lower back muscles start to kick in and work, then make the hover smaller. Or, as I say, do an activation. So do a squeeze, but not a lift. So you can do little squeezes, but without lifts. And that starts to tell your brain about the muscles that we really want to be using for these. Okay, so you can do big ones or little ones as you can control. Okay. The last one of these, and then we're going to take it up. So you can always return to this exercise again if you need to. So from here, to go into your plank. Safety for plank. If you can't hold a plank, then it's much better to have your bottom sticking in the air a little bit than it is to have your back sagging towards the floor, because that's where you'll hurt yourself. So just be mindful that you don't want a banana back, but you can have your bottom to the ceiling a little bit if you need to. Okay? For your really good plank, you want to have 4-point kneeling, hands forwards and wide of your shoulders, and you want to maintain that positioning. From here, then step one leg back, then step the other leg back. Connect through the pelvic floor, deep abdominals to spine. So we're going to do little leg hovers. 1, just like you were in swimming, moving from the hip joints, not from the lower backs. Staying nice and strong between the shoulders, long necks, looking at the floor. Okay, so keep thinking about that control. Well done. Lower one knee, lower the other knee. Okay, now from here, we're going to do one more set of planks. This time we're going to do what's called around the world. So it's knee to shoulder, knee to opposite shoulder, and then take it out to the side. Okay, all the while keeping the pelvis facing forward, so pelvis to ground. See if you can move out of your hip joints. So hands forward and wide of your shoulders again. Okay, step one leg back, step the other leg back, and when you're ready, take one leg, knee to shoulder, knee to opposite shoulder, take it out and back, knee to shoulder, other leg, knee to opposite shoulder, take it out and back, knee to shoulder, to opposite shoulder, take it out and return, knee to shoulder, to opposite shoulder, take it out and return, and again, to shoulder, to opposite shoulder, controlling the back, out and return, shoulder, opposite shoulder, take it out and return, shoulder, opposite shoulder, taking it out and return, last one, shoulder to opposite shoulder, take it out and return. Well done. Okay, just take yourself just into a brief shallow stretch. Walk your hands to the right. Take a nice big breath. Walk your hands to the left. Another nice big breath. Back to the middle. Tuck your toes. Take yourself up into a down dog. Let the head relax and drop to the floor. Push through your arms, press with your knees, tailbone to the ceiling, and then add in a few heel pumps. So stretch the back of the legs out. And then walk your feet to your hands and curl your way back up. All right, now from here, we're going to do a couple of roll downs with some heel raises. Okay, so take your weight just gently through the balls of your feet. Breathe in, breathe out as you curl down. Go onto your toes and then connect your shoulder blades to your ribs and curl your way up. Lower the heels. Breathing in, breathing out as you curl down. Rock onto your toes and then shoulder blades to bottom and curl up. And lower down. So again, you should be doing this whilst coming up nice and segmentally through your spine, onto your toes, not gripping with your lower back. If you manage to do that, then that tells me that you're using all the muscles down the back of your body nicely. And if you struggle with this one, then that's something that needs to be a focus, is really getting your posterior chain to activate. Shoulder blades to bottom, sit bones together, curling up. Okay, last two. Single leg squats. So think about good foot arches. So that might be lifting the foot arches from the floor, connecting through the glutes. Take one leg, nice stable pelvis. We're going to do little one leg squats. The bending knee wants to go out over the fourth and fifth toes, whilst you keep that strong foot arch, whilst you keep your level pelvis. Okay, so this is your control. And then we're going to turn it into the running man. So get your arms going. Whoop. And you can do it slow. You can do it faster. It's up to you. Try and keep the control though, whichever one you're doing. So if you go too fast and you start to wibble and wobble all over the place, bring it back. Good, and onto the other leg. So foot arch support, nice level pelvis. Okay, knees out over the 4th and 5th toes. Good. Just concentrating on that for a moment, and then you can add in your running man, driving from the elbows, keeping the pelvis level, knees out over 4th and 5th toes. Good. Right, and then last one. To run you out the door, we're going to do some hamstring kicks. So just start with one leg, slide it gently behind you. Make sure that comes from the hip rather than the back, and then it's just some little kicks up and down. Again, just really waking up the hamstring. Keep your fingers in your lower back just to make sure that your lower back is not doing the movement. Okay, tie the other leg back from the hip. Glute should be working. The little heel kicks up and down. Good. And then we're going to finish off with some fast ones. Okay, so try and keep that work coming into the hamstrings. So when you're ready, you can have your hands there, or you can go for a run onto the balls of your feet, and off you go. Trying to keep heels kicking up behind you towards your bottom, pelvis open, so you're not falling forwards, chest open, driving with your elbows. And bringing it down. Woo, my mat's gone all everywhere. And I'm out of breath. Right, hope you get some nice runs then over the festive period. Hope there's some nice days for you. And see you in 2022. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good one.